Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the City of Charlestown Board of Public Works. Today's June 3rd, 2025. We still need to update that agenda. It still says 10 a.m. The agenda is wrong. Our meetings are at 9 a.m. and it is 9:02 a.m. We'll begin our meeting as our standard with the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone could please join us. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Have a roll call. Maggie Wild. Ari Thompson.
I'm here, Maggie's not.
Let the records show that Mayor Hodges and Donna Creamer, co-treasurer, are also here, as well as Perry McCall, our attorney. We have an agenda that's been provided. Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Ari Thompson makes the motion. Maggie Wild seconds. Any edits? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. We have our standing business, which includes the approval or correction of our meeting minutes from May 20th, our current claims, and our payroll from May 12th to May 25th. Entertain a motion to approve as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Maggie Wild,
I'll second.
second by Aaron Thompson. Any edits or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's unanimous. Is anybody signed up for public comment?
Adam Clark.
You don't want my comments.
Yeah, we do.
So no, that would be no public comments. No old business, straight into new business. First up, I'll call for Chief Eric Cruz to make a presentation on a reserve police officer swearing.
Make everybody come up.
He makes everybody come up with
Yes,
it.
sorry.
He's scared by himself.
I am. It makes me nervous. So this is Miss Gracie Moore. She started our application process last year.
She don't act like her mother does.
I'll defer to them with the answer.
I knew that already, but I wanted to ask.
So she did our application process. She's passed everything that we've asked of her: a fitness test, written test, extensive background investigations, and multiple interviews. She's also done probably a couple hundred hours of ride-along time with us and other agencies. From what I know, she's been training for this, I think, since she was 10.
Yeah, right.
So sometimes she does more training in a year than we do, sometimes, from what I've seen. But we think she would be a great asset for our reserve department and hopefully eventually get her on full-time in the future. So we'd ask you all to make a motion.
In your fine print, you cannot pull me over.
Yeah, he's got to say it.
We don't know.
That, good answer, Gracie.
We'll see.
Good answer. There
I'll
you
make that
go.
motion.
The answer is you
I'll
should
second.
always pull him over.
Yeah.
Do we
I
have-
deserve it, but you're not supposed to.
Do we have a motion to authorize the swearing in for Reserve Officer Gracie Moore?
I'll make that motion.
Ernie Thompson makes the motion. Maggie Wild seconds. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That is unanimous. Gracie, let's get you sworn. Chief, I hope you have the.
Yep.
There we go.
Awesome, Barry.
Of course. All right. You'll just raise your right hand and repeat after me, Gracie. I, Gracie Moore,
I, Gracie Moore,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, protect, and defend
that I will support, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and
of
laws
the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and
of the
laws
State of Indiana
of the State of Indiana
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign or domestic,
foreign or domestic,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and justly
and justly
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of a Reserve Officer of the Charlestown Police Department,
of a Reserve Officer of the Charlestown Police Department,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard. Sorry.
One, two, three.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
You have a box for the books?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You
I
can't
got
read it.
Make sure Ernie earns his money.
So he promised not to make us
Did I get a
spend
signed
much more
copy?
money, but he does have a huge reading assignment for us. Would you like to explain, Chief?
I would.
Do we get a signed copy?
Yeah, sure.
Sign it.
I'll sign them all. So what I've got here is hopefully the new standard operating procedures book policies for the Charlestown Police Department. It is approximately almost 400 pages long.
For the record, that's longer than my dissertation.
Yeah, so we've been working on this since January of last year, as soon as we took over. It's taken quite a while, but we're finally done with it, or hopefully done with it. So we revised the entire book. So we had a lot of old policies that didn't pertain to us, that was about anywhere between 60 to 100 pages worth, that could, were just for our dispatchers when we used to employ our own dispatchers, so we had to take that out. We added another probably 100 pages to it, just bringing it up to date and up to the 2025 standards. So, and then we also had about 20 years worth of general orders that were already approved by the Board of Public Works that needed to get placed into the book. So we didn't have to give new people this book and all the general orders, and then have to read both, and then flip back and forth to figure out which policies were still valid or not. So hopefully after you all review this will be the only one we give them and say, read pages 1 through 400, and if it's in the book, that's what we follow. That way it makes a little bit more sense. So it wasn't a complete rewrite, it was a revisioning of what Chuck Ledbetter and Jeff did back in 2006. So we took, their bones and just brought it up to date with everything, so.
So you're basically giving us a copy to look over and then we'll approve this on our January 17th, or January.
It might be January.
Our June 17th meeting.
Just depends how fast you all can read. I will make it a note that there are some grammar and font errors in it, and it's only because it's some of the policies that were passed were from the Indiana Law Enforcement Training Board, and those are the policies that we had to adopt as they wrote them,
So they're not your grammar mistakes.
Right, so they're not mine, so, and I wasn't even, according to the law, I guess we wasn't even allowed to fix or change the fonts or anything on them. So, if you see those,
So I shouldn't take my red pen with those as I.
No, preferably not, but you can if you want. So I got the book here, and then I've got a packet here. The packet, tells, we kind of used a review team, like I wrote, Assistant Chief Roeder was a reviewer and editor of the book. Major Jason Brody was a contributor, so like in his sections that involved detectives and so forth, he wrote his policies, how he wanted to see them. So, and then Detective Chuck Ledbetter, who's a contributor, he wrote the evidence policies and so forth, and station security policies. And then Sergeant Alex Aubrey, she was a reviewer, editor, and contributor. Her and Adam Clark, they both helped me write the new canine policy to make sure it was up to date. And then Corporal Tyler Lyons, he was a reviewer and editor. And then Officer Joshua Steffen was a reviewer and editor. So we tried to have a range of viewers that looked over the book and wanted to add what they wanted to add or change and so forth. So, but then also for each title, I wrote down the changes, the adds, and everything that we had in here. So that way, when you're going through it, you'll be able to see what's been changed or what's been added. So,
Great, good job.
Yeah. A lot of hours there.
huh?
A lot of hours there.
Yeah, a lot of hours, and proud to announce that each book I got a deal where each book only cost us $7.90. So
Oh, that's nice.
printed and
Well, I can't wait to read it.
it's invigorating. I'm sure all the officers can't wait to read it either.
Oh, that's why they all left.
Yeah, they all left. So
Yeah.
I already gave Perry a copy.
Okay.
You got a braille copy? What
I do not have an audiobook version. So
There you go.
Sorry.
That's your next step.
those are a little bit more expensive.
Oh, motor vehicle.
All right, thank you, Chief. So we'll look over that and we'll put that on,
It's,
we'll make a note to add that to the agenda for approval at our next meeting.
It's action packed, so
Nice cover.
thank you.
Not for resale. Darn it.
That's how we got it so cheap.
Find this on the black market next week, man.
Okie dokie.
Eric, you do a great job.
You do a good
Can I resign right now?
No, have to read that.
After I read the book, then I'll resign.
All right, up next we have our balloon glow contract. This one is standard, it's the same, basically, same format actually, other than dates changes that we've used with Skycap Balloon productions in the past. Same setup, they're gonna come do the balloon glow and the tethered rides for Founder's Day, which is the 28th of June. Obviously, they have to take into consideration weather events. The compensation remains the same, it's total $2,500. $1,500 is due with the signed agreement to reserve the tethered balloons and for the management fee. And then the remaining $750 is due at the time of the event. And then in addition to that, we also provide meals for the pilots of the plant. We usually do that through gift cards with our food vendors that are there. And we provide compensation for their propane that's required for the event. So the same contract we've had for the past couple of years, just need to get it approved so we can move that forward and get that reservation made.
Make that motion.
I have a motion by Maggie Wild, second by Ernie Thompson. Any questions? Harry, you've had a chance to look this over.
Same contract?
Same?
Yep.
Same.
Same
All
thing.
right. And of course, we will make sure, Donna, that we get their updated copy of their insurance. It's not with this contract, but I'll make sure we get the updated. We have it on file, but I'll make sure they update for this year. They always provide their copy of insurance. So.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That was unanimous. We have our, Tiffany, are you presenting? Yep. The Family Fun Night contract for Willis Tucker Band.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a contract here, a W-9 insurance and an invoice for the Willis Tucker Band for Family Fun Night on June 27th, to pay the amount of $1,100. We just need to approve it for Family Fun Night. That will be at the activities park and they'll play down at the depot area.
And Founder's Day is 100% sponsored, so we do have the funds to pay for that out of our sponsorships. So entertain a motion to approve the contract with the Willis Tucker Band for June 27th. Ernie makes the motion.
I'll second.
Maggie Wild seconds. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's unanimous. I do not have this form from Heather in front of me, but we can still vote on it because I think the form is just perfunctory. We came across an issue, or became aware of, it's not really an issue, need to do a conflict of interest form with our employee Tubby Purcell, Albert Purcell. He's been promoted recently to building inspector, and so he's kind of our lead residential building inspector as well as commercial under the supervision of Tommy Jackson, our building commissioner. And Tubby, for years, has had his own cabinet business, long before he ever started this position. And so just to be on the up and clear, I had him complete with our Human Resources Department a conflict of interest form, and the requirement is that we approve that in the public meeting. Essentially, the conflict of interest form states that he has a cabinet business, he's had a cabinet business before he received this job, and that we've put in an extra measure. He is not to use his position as building inspector to promote or attract new clients to his cabinet business, but also we put in an extra measure of assurance that any home that is constructed in the city of Charlestown that contains his cabinets, he doesn't install them, he just sells them, but any home that contains his cabinets will have a secondary inspection and have ultimate sign-off by our building commissioner, Tony Jackson, or a different code inspector, as we teach Hannah how to do that. So there's an extra level here of oversight for that. So that's what that conflict of interest form claims, and we just need to approve that on behalf of Tubby.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion from Maggie,
I'll second.
second by Ernie. Any questions from you on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That was unanimous. And then, oh, here it is. I had that. Look at that. That's pretty much what I said. And then the final matter was, I think I've mentioned to the board in the past, you know, we've been dealing for a couple of years with this Woodford Farms playground with the Duke Energy easement, and we finally were able to get the playground material relocated to the Church Street Park, Knoble Park, where the playground equipment had deteriorated. We finally got the last of the structures removed from that playground area. And now there's a matter of what to do with the playground land. All that's left there is just the concrete pads and the grass to be mowed, which we didn't want to have to do. And so we went through the process of putting out bids. Harry checked into the legality of it, and since it was a playground, a city park, and it's almost all eaten up by a utility easement, the proper procedure was to allow adjoining property owners to place bids on that property. So we advertised that, we sent them certified letters. There were 3 adjoining property owners. One of the adjoining property owners submitted a request basically to say that he would take over the land for the cost of the improvements that are required for the fence that's there. So there is a fence on the property, and in order to repair the fence, it would cost us a couple $1,000s. It's actually more than what the property is worth. The property assessed value is only $1,500, and so it's my recommendation that we transfer that park to that homeowner, Charles Deal, who is an adjoining property owner there at that park, for the cost of that he will spend fixing that fence. Is that pretty much accurate, the way to say that? Would you add?
That's my understanding based on the lack of interest.
Right, there was just no interest from anybody else. All right, so we just need a motion to make that transfer.
I'll make that
Motion by Maggie Thompson, second by Maggie Wild. Any questions for me on that? All in favor, say aye.
one. Aye.
Aye. That is unanimous. With that said, for our next meeting will be June 17th at 9 a.m. We'll take action on this police department book, and I believe Harold Park wants to be on that agenda for an easement vacation. Barry, I'll get Tony there's an easement that he needs vacated for something. I'll connect him with you and Tony on that. Donna, is there anything else you need from us?
No, I just need to get some signatures from you.
All right.
And I will talk to Megan.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I got a motion to adjourn from Ernie, second from Maggie. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned. And I'll get, figure out which of these.